Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about multiple topics in immigration that you will be interested in. I'll start with some news from Canada, but there are a lot of things to talk about in the United States immigration. Also, I will give you my thoughts on a couple of other topics that are trending in the news today. For example, H1B conversation that is happening. Now there is a revocation of approval that has also come in. Family-based petition for people who are stuck in the employment-based backlog. Cross-chargeability, because that is also an important topic. And some of the things that Trump administration will do on day one in terms of executive orders that will probably impact employment-based immigration. So a lot of packed content, guys. Watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Now, first of all, I want to touch on a sensitive topic, the tragedy that's unfolding in Los Angeles. For those impacted by fire in the Los Angeles, my thoughts and prayers are with you. No matter what is the reason, there is great loss of life and property. Some people have lost their lives and some people have lost their property and everything. Now, even if this has happened in some of the most affluent neighborhoods, it's still a shock to know that entire neighborhoods were flattened due to this fire. So now hopefully the government will put all the necessary resources to get people out of this tragedy. If you are in that region and are impacted, put in the comment section below or reach out to me how I can help through our community. Now there are a couple of news from Canada that I wanted to cover. First and foremost, and this came towards the end of the year on December 24th. What a great Christmas present. Remember, people who want to move to Canada in their late 40s have practically impossible chances to get an PR. And then the reason is they don't have those age-related points. Those age-related points in the CRS score kind of diminish when you are 35 years and onwards. But to make up for those age-related points, if you have a job offer in Canada and if you work in Canada for about a year, depending on what level of job you have, you get 50 or 200 points as an additional points that you can use towards the CRS score. Now these job related points really propel people to get their PR or get enough points to get their PR. Canada is saying that they are going to remove these job related points. Now they had curtailed the immigration because they did the immigration left and right in the last several years through Trudeau administration, and now people have spoken. They let in too many immigrants in the country for which there are no jobs or there is no infrastructure. Housing cost has increased tremendously and that is what is causing this. They are curtailing the immigration, and one of the things that they are also doing is removing these job related points for permanent residency. So this is not a great news for people who have recently moved in the hopes of getting that job related points to get their PR in Canada. But let's see what happens. This is just a news. They are saying that this will be implemented in the spring of 2025. Let's see what happens. I'll let you know. Now again, related to Canada immigration, they are also pausing the sponsorship for parents and grandparents. So if you are a permanent resident in Canada or a citizen of Canada, you can sponsor your parents and grandparents. There is no quota or there is no limit for that. You can do that anytime, and it is much faster compared to the United States process. But now Canada is pausing that process as well. So all in all, there are a lot of measures that Canadian government is taking to curtail immigration in the near future. Now Trudeau has stepped down and there is going to be a turmoil in Canadian political situation until the next elections are held. That will bring the stable government, maybe the conservative government, and then things can improve from that point onwards. But right now they are curtailing immigration for the foreseeable future.
And that brings me to the sponsor of today's video. Have you ever done the Google search of your own name? Look what I have found when I did mine. Here's what comes up. While some of this information is relevant, the other makes me uncomfortable that my information is exposed for a sale like this. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, or anybody else who may want to target you. Your full name, email address, home address, your relatives' names, health information, it's all out there. That's why I have been using Aura, sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out request for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it also protects me from hackers who could use this information to help them access my social media accounts, bank accounts, or other sensitive information. Aura does so much more to protect my information and my family's information from online threats I can't see. I get other features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without having to download several different apps. It's really easy to set up, and best of all, I get everything for one affordable price. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like locking the front door but leaving your back door wide open. Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping me safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. I value my privacy and I value yours. You can go to my link which is on the screen and in the description and start your free 2 weeks trial. So protect your information, your family, and have a peace of mind. That's Aura.
Now let's come back to the United States. On January 6th, the President Trump was certified in the Congress. So basically, Vice President Kamala Harris on January 6th certified the results of 2024 election results. So Trump administration is now certified to take power on January 20th. Now new Congress also went into the session on the same day, and they immediately passed the first immigration related reform bill, which is Laken-Riley immigration bill. Now it is a very sensitive topic. I'm glad that this one was passed, but the important point to note in this is that many of the Democrats also joined to pass this bill, both in the House and the Senate. This is a crucial moment. This is where I'm seeing a lot of Democrats are also willing to cross the aisle and join the Republicans in passing immigration-related bills. So I'm being optimistic. Now I'll talk about this a little bit further towards the end of the video. There is also one more thing that I wanted to talk about is H1B and all the discussion that is going on in the media regarding the H1B. Now as you know, H1B has been a controversial issue in the last couple of months, and that is because some people think that H1B is being used or misused to bring cheap labor to replace American workers. Now this may not be the intent of this visa, but some people believe that that's what is happening. Now one of the things that I wanted to clarify is H1B cannot be approved until you have an LCA. Now LCA is where the Department of Labor kind of endorses that the company has to pay an H1B candidate a certain amount of salary that is applicable to that specialty occupation. So Department of Labor has that statistics, it has all the labor codes, job codes, and it has recommended salary for that region. Now when a company submits an LCA, they have to get it approved that they have to at least provide that amount of salary to that individual that they are sponsoring. And they also have to prove that the company is able to pay that salary to that individual. So this is a check and balance that is done during the H1B processing. So I don't believe that H1B is being used for cheap labor to replace American workers. Now the second point is specialty occupation. Now this is the part where there is a little bit of a fraud. Now, I'm not saying every applicant is a fraud, but there are bad actors that have taken advantage of this system. Bringing in cheap labor is not a point, but bringing in subpar talent into the United States in the name of specialty occupation, that is definitely happening. So there has to be some reform in the H1B. I would like to see two things happen in H1B. One is they should increase the cap. Now this quota of 65,000 plus 20,000 was put in 90s. Now we are into 2025. Obviously those numbers are not applicable. We need much higher number of H1Bs to sustain US technology sector. That is one. So Congress should really consider increasing the number of H1Bs per year. That is one. But the second and more important thing is they should put some regulations to avoid the fraud in H1B. They should make sure that only those individuals get the H1B that are specialty occupation. They should make that definition a little strict, and they should also follow the law to strictly let in people who are required for the US economy. I think there is a lot of work to be done. There will be bills coming in the new administration that I think will be passed, and it will have some changes in the H1B. If it's increasing the numbers, that will be a great relief for students in this country, because there are not enough, because of the amount of students coming into this country from the backlog countries such as India is enormous, and it's not proportional to the H1B numbers that we have available for every year. Put down in the comment section below, because I would like to hear from you. What do you think about the misuse of H1B, the specialty occupation, and whether they are low-cost workers replacing American citizens? Now I just want to pause here for a moment because I crossed 150,000 subscribers, and it's all because of you and your support to me. Throughout the years, it only took me 4.5 years to reach this milestone, which is comparatively significant because in the immigration space, there are only certain amount of individuals that are watching my video. So my audience is kind of niche and it's not an entertainment channel. So getting up to 150K in this space, especially in the employment-based category topics, is really difficult. I hope one day I can cross 500K and even 1 million subscribers, but that's just a wishful thinking. But I will need your support here. Only 30% of my viewers are my subscribers. So if you would take a moment to subscribe to my channel and like this video, that will be great help. I will also add you to the giveaway that I will do at the end of this month. Now, there have been some cases of revocation of approval. So say for instance, you had a change of status from H4 to H1. Now, USCIS has already made a decision, but then they find out some new information about you and then they send a revocation of approval. Now, if that was for a technical reason, such as incomplete documentation or incomplete information on the form, then it can be fought. But if it was for a legitimate reason because of the fraudulent job offer or something like that, it is very difficult to fight. And some lawyers suggest that this can be taken into a federal courts or civil courts. This is not a civil case. This is immigration case. There has been a recent decision by the Supreme Court that the immigration related cases are not the jurisdiction of civil courts. So even if you file an immigration case with the civil courts, they will push it back to the immigration courts. Let me know in the comment section below if you have come across such a situation with yourself or with your family members or friends and what their experience was. Because few people had asked me to cover this topic, so I thought I would bring this up. Now, every once in a while, I get a question that I'm stuck in the EB category and what should I do? I have an aunt, I have a brother, or I have a sister who lives in the United States and who are US citizens or green card holders. Can they sponsor me? Yes, obviously they can sponsor you in the family-based petition. It is F1 or F1B. But unfortunately for people who are born in India, those dates are not current. Those are at least 10 years backlog. So that is not going to provide you any benefit in terms of getting your green card sooner. Now, if it's a marriage-based petition, so if you had an employment-based petition and then you get married and your husband or wife is a US citizen, that is the fastest process. Then they can file your marriage-based petition I-130 and that can come much sooner. Now, one more thing, cross-chargeability. There are many examples where backlog country individual marries a spouse who happens to have born in non-backlog country. Now, in that situation, say for instance, you are an Indian citizen and your spouse is from Nepal or spouse is from Canada or Australia and so on, those countries are not backlogged. So what you can do is you can do cross-chargeability. In your 485 application, you can cross-charge your petition, or in other words, you can use the country of birth of your spouse to take advantage of that priority date in the visa bulletin. So in many cases, those priority dates are much ahead, if not current, and you can have that advantage in your case to get it approved sooner. So that is something that I wanted to remind because I talked with a couple of individuals in that scenario and that was a pleasant surprise for them. Now let's talk about what are the couple of things that the new administration is going to do on day one in terms of presidential executive orders. Now these may not be directly related to employment-based immigration, but nevertheless I thought I would cover it. Now it is said that Trump is going to sign more than 100 executive orders on day one. Some of them are reinstating Title 42. What was Title 42? It was a restriction or expelling the immigrants for the public health reason at that time. So that time it was COVID time. That's why it was applicable. But this time how that Title 42 will be implemented is to be seen. But that is one of the things that they might do. Now, second thing they will force is to have the local law enforcement officers to work closely with ICE agents. So they will put it in an executive order. Right now, the local governments are not obligated to support ICE agents, which is enforcement agency, which is a federal agency, to remove those bad criminals who are undocumented out of this country or deport them. So that is one. The third one is border wall. Basically, they will start building the wall again. Now another one is Save Act, and this is kind of important, and I also agree to it because it will say that you'll have to show the proof of citizenship in order to vote in the United States. Now we come from the backlog country, we follow all the rules. We have been told always that you cannot vote unless you are a citizen. But you know what happens in many of the blue states? There is no ID requirement, there is no voter ID requirement. So anybody can walk in without showing any ID. They can say that I am so and they can vote on their behalf. Now granted, at the time of registration, they may have shown their ID, but at the polling booth, there is no requirement for ID. So it's easy to defraud the system. So let's see what happens with this one. Now, the other thing that I noticed is John Fetterman, but who is a Democrat senator, is meeting with Trump and the Republicans. Now, this is huge because more and more Democrat senators and congressmen are willing to work with Republicans to pass some measures. They are showing that they're willing to work with these. Now, so grab your popcorn because it's going to be a ride. In the next couple of years, maybe next 2 years, we can expect to see many bills passed, including bills that are in favor of employment-based immigration. Some things that come to my mind to clear the backlog are maybe recapture of those unused visa numbers since 1992. That can come back and that can pass. Per country cap removal, although it will have uphill battle, it has a chance to succeed. And some common sense bills that will grant EAD or AP as soon as your I-140 is approved. These are just some thoughts that come to my mind. Put down in the comment section below what else do you think might get approved this year. Okay, so for those who have been stuck in the backlog for EB2 and EB3, at least half of the calls that I do every week are for EB1A upgrade or EB5 upgrade. So if you want to know more about those criteria, I have a masterclass coming up in 2 weeks on January 26. Check out the link in the description to register for that. Also, if you have questions for me in regards to your situation, to get my opinion on what I would do if I were you, do contact me on Calendly. That way you can book a 30 minutes call with me and I can give you my opinion. So that's really all I wanted to say in this video. If you like the content of this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.